So generally, on the whole, the system that we're a part of, this civilization, if you like, it's been built mainly for its own sake and mainly to manage people. There are just so many of us. There are billions of us now, 7 billion people roaming the earth. Well, I say roaming, but we're generally focused in little areas with home, office, home, place of work, that kind of thing. And this is more than twice as many people who were alive in the 1960s during JFK's era as president. And that blows my mind. Population growth is fantastic. And so society and civilization itself has become this kind of mechanism for managing those numbers of people. So if you think about it, think about the world we live in. There is this illusion of free will, this illusion of democracy, if you like. And actually, we're being controlled, we're being manipulated and hacked, if you like. So, when you walk down the road, you're walking on the pavement or the sidewalk, and someone has said, this is where you walk. You don't walk in the traffic. That goes in the middle of the road, you walk on the sides. So your behavior is already being controlled. Public benches these days have anti-homeless features designed into them. So you might think those armrests in the middle of the bench are there for you to rest your arm on, but actually they're to stop people spreading out and sleeping on the bench. There are all kinds of things here which are designed to control us and to manage our behavior. Sometimes if you go into shops, you might notice lines on the floor. When I was a teenager, I used to work in Dixon's, a consumer electronics shop. And the carpet had big chevrons that would point into the back of the shop, and then little chevrons pointing back out to the front. And it would subconsciously guide you in, and then if you weren't going to buy anything, it would guide you back out again, so you didn't waste time. So, the world we live in is designed to manipulate us. And I don't know if you've ever heard of sick building syndrome, but if in the 1950s, when you had all this postmodern architecture built, buildings were very much austere boxes that made people sick. People got very unhappy. There wasn't enough daylight. People became more and more subtracted from their natural requirements of sunshine, freedom, space, air. And so they started to introduce plants into offices, and that helped a lot. But what's happening is we're being processed and we're being hacked, and we're losing sense of who we are. Because, a lot of our public opinion is manipulated by the media, by people who own the media. The majority of journalists are great journalists, but there are other journalists who are working on behalf of media moguls. They have an agenda. They are pushing a political viewpoint. And so even the way you think about politics, the way you think about, for example, immigration, it is all manipulated. I'm a lefty, obviously, and I read newspapers like The Guardian, but even I'm aware that The Guardian is pushing an agenda. And so under all of this manipulation, the clothes we wear are defined by the magazines we read, by the TV shows, what our celebrities are wearing. And these celebrities are often being provided, that they are influencers, they're being provided with clothes by the big fashion brands. So, what is our style? Who are we? Where are we in all of this? And that is one of the big challenges, because, this whole thing, this Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, January, February, March, it's all man-made. The months don't exist in nature. And the problem is, we are free spirits, if you like. I don't want to go all hippie on you, but we're free spirits. And there's this idea that we can be pigeonholed, that we can be told to walk on the pavement, and we can be fed processed food, processed news, processed information, and that we can have the whole idea of waking up naturally with sunlight and going to bed with the sunset, becomes alien, because we're getting up with our alarm clocks. We have to be in the office at 9 till 5:30, and that's not natural. And the more we start to do unnatural things, the more sick we become. You've got coronary heart disease because we're eating these processed meats and these intensively farmed meats. The more processed food we eat, the more you get signs of diabetes, cancer goes up. When you're smoking, you're drinking alcohol. These are not natural behaviors. And similarly, mentally, the more we close ourselves away from nature, the more we suffer from anxiety. The more we do these things that, turn us into parts of the machine rather than, unhindered spirits that are, just essentially formless balls of energy in human vessels, we become anxious, we become depressed. Why do you think going for a walk in nature is often kind of seen as such a healthy thing? Getting outside, going cycling, even just going out and, staring at trees and listening to the wind blow through the leaves and listening to the birds singing. Why do you think we have this urge for it? Because it's actually good. It's unprocessed. Whether or not these forests that we walk in are managed forests or whatever, it's much closer to our intrinsic and natural state of being. And the more we can personally try to shed all the things that are not us and all the things we're doing to please people, for likes on social media, for the benefit of other people, rather than doing it because it satisfies our own nature, the more we're gonna become ill in ourselves, in our mind, our body, and our spirit. So we need to, in 2020, make a real effort to find our authentic selves and do it for us. Be kind, be authentic, and take action, and see where that takes you, because it will take you on a path that was intended for you, not intended for anyone else, just intended for you.